And welcome back to Real Talk Sports with Rico. Today we are recapping the NFL Week 5, and it was a wild Week 5. Let's start with what happened out in London, the Vikings versus the Jets. This was the very first game of the day. Very much a surprise that the Vikings would move on to 5-0 in this one, winning 23-17. But what about the struggles of the Jets and the offense? Aaron Rodgers, 29 of 54, 244, 2 touchdowns, but 3 INTs. If you would have told me that the Jets offense was going to struggle with a healthy Aaron Rodgers out there, I would not have believed you. And so I have to give credit to the Vikings for making some timely plays in this one. And I believe Sam Darnold did not have his best game, 14 of 31, 4 sacks on the day, an interception, had a QBR of 19.7. But the Vikings find a way to get it done. Timely passes out there to Justin Jefferson, who still managed to have 6 receptions for 92 yards, didn't have a touchdown. But hey, the Vikings were able to make plays when they needed to. This reminds me a lot of when they had Kirk Cousins and they went on that run. They're just able to pull out games at the end of games. So kudos to the Vikings for taking care of business. Next up, the Bears and the Panthers. All right. And so Caleb Williams, it has arrived, but we already knew that. He's been playing well the last couple weeks. They are now 3-2, which is a great thing. But Caleb Williams looks even more comfortable every time he's out. You do start to see that he is starting to look like Patrick Mahomes, definitely with the way he is able to create plays in and out of the pocket. And, with the 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. The key here is no interceptions and only 1 sack. That had been an issue with the Bears giving up sacks. But more importantly, I think that DeAndre Swift has been the key for them. 21 rushes, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. You got a chance to see that with DeAndre Swift running the football, they're now starting to take the lids off this defense because they're not a one-dimensional football team. DJ Moore taking care of business against his former club, 5 receptions, 2 touchdowns, 105 yards. He had quite a day. Bears win at home. Next up, Bengals and Ravens. The Bengals fall to 1-4. What a comeback from the Ravens. Lamar Jackson puts it together with the Ravens being down a couple scores. And how about Derrick Henry? He had a slow start to the season, but he is really starting to pick it up. 15 carries, 92 yards, a touchdown, and he had a huge run, which essentially led to the Ravens wrapping this game up and getting the game-winning field goal that they need. Tough start for Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Because this is what you expect from Joe Burrow and the Bengals, to put up points. He had a tremendous day. 30 of 39. He had 5 touchdowns. He did have an INT, but that is Joe Burrow. Chase Brown had a good day on the ground. Jamar Chase had a great day. These are games that generally the Bengals win. Unfortunately, they did not win this. This is going to be tough for the Bengals to recover, I think their season. So next up, the Dolphins and the Patriots. The Dolphins get a win in New England, 15-10, just getting enough plays, taking care of business out there. Tyreek Hill, 6 receptions, 69 yards in this one. So, tough one, I think, for the Patriots. We knew that this was going to be this type of year for them, but the Dolphins are just trying to hold on as they try to figure out what they are going to do at the quarterback position until Tua gets back. Next up, the Commanders versus the Browns. Hello, Jaden Daniels. JD5 is in the building. 14 of 25, 238, a touchdown. Did have an INT in this one, but he was tremendous with the way he was able to really work his progressions down the field, also to get out of the blitzes and then make positive plays for this Washington Commanders offense. Did a terrific job and just going down the field to Terry McLaurin, finding him on some huge plays, 4 receptions, 112 yards. But I love the fact that the Washington Commanders actually have an identity on the offensive end. They are smashing teams right in the mouth with running this football. They did a terrific job across 3 running backs. Austin Eckler had a good day. Jaden Daniels led the way with 82 yards. Brian Robinson Jr. had 2 touchdowns. So they're getting it done there. And then defensively, they've tightened it up. They've gotten a lot more physical out there. I talked about this on the Washington Commanders Insider, where they have gotten some great cornerback play from Mike Sanderstill out of Michigan. The rookie corner has played very well. He's bringing a level of physicality to this defense, and you're starting to see that they're getting home. They had 7 sacks against Deshaun Watson in this one. Defense is heating up. I think that they are starting to run a lot more complex schemes as well with the blitzes and things like that. So the Washington Commanders are a team to be looking for. They are now 4-1 in the NFC East, and they're on the run there. Next up, you have the Jaguars and the Colts. The Jags get a win in this one, 37-34, get a late field goal in this one, and the Jags really needed this one. No Anthony Richardson in this one, but you did get a chance to see what Joe Flacco could do. So you did not, again, get a chance to see Anthony Richardson, who was out due to an injury, had a hip injury in the last game. So next up, we are looking down here at the Bills and the Texans. And so this was going to be a headline game today with Stephon Diggs going against his former team. The Bills had a pretty good day, didn't get into the end zone, 6 receptions, 82 yards. And the Texans were winning this game by a lot, but then the Bills came roaring back into this one. C.J. Stroud and company, a late field goal to pull it out. Nico Collins did go down with an injury, had a hamstring, came out the second half, wasn't dressed with the team. So hopefully they can get him back. Otherwise, you could see Stephon Diggs taking a higher role on this team as they move forward. Next up, the Broncos and the Raiders. Must say that I have got to give the Broncos credit. 3-2, didn't expect for them to be in this particular position. Shout out to the rookie quarterback, Bo Nix. He is doing his thing, 19 of 27, 206 yards. He had 2 touchdowns in this one. And more importantly, he has a winning record as a rookie quarterback. So looks like they have figured out what they want to do from a franchise there. Now, can the Denver Broncos continue to keep it going? The Raiders continue to slide. I mean, it's just looking pretty bad with all this stuff that's going on with the trade rumors with Devontae Adams. And it's just a mess right now on the field. So hopefully they can put it together. Next up, I think the shocker of week 5, the Arizona Cardinals coming back, beating the 49ers 24-23. And on the road did the Cardinals do this. And so this is tough. It is news out there now that it looks like they are probably going to be without Christian McCaffrey for a little bit longer as well. So that is not good. Brock Purdy struggled today, 2 interceptions, did have a touchdown. But when it came down to the clutch, Brock Purdy threw an interception, which pretty much ended the game. But the Cardinals just made enough plays out there and just held on. Interesting, too, because you would have thought that Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to have a huge day in order for the Cardinals to beat the San Francisco 49ers. Only 2 receptions for 36 yards. So very interesting. But Kyler Murray and company come in, make enough plays, get the W. Next up, the Packers and the Rams. This one came down to the wire. I thought that the Packers had given the Rams too much time. Matthew Stafford was hot in the end in the fourth quarter, but it came down to a fourth quarter stop by the Packers to go ahead and win this one 24-19. I think the key takeaway for me was what Jordan Love was able to do. He looked a lot more mobile out of the pocket, definitely looks comfortable out there, 15 of 26, 224, 2 touchdowns. Did have a bad pick 6. That was pretty terrible. But you know what? You can live with that because Jordan Love, hey, he's not going to make too many of those mistakes. He's still a young quarterback. He's growing, but he made a ton of plays down the field. How about Jaden Reed? I think that this young player is going to be coming on. They got a very nice production from their tight end who had 2 touchdowns on the day as well. So big one for the Packers. They get a win. They stay on pace. They're right there with the Minnesota Vikings. And so, with that being said, that leads us down to the last game that took place here, and that is the Giants and the Seahawks. The Giants end up winning 29-20, blocked field goal in this one for the Giants. They end up getting the W, 29 points. If you would have told me that they were going to put up 29 points in this one, I would not have believed you. How about Tyrone Tracy Jr. at the running back situation for the Giants? You knew that they needed some help there. Devin Singletary was out with the groin, but 18 carries, 129 yards, 7.2 average. I did not think that they were going to be able to run the football against this Seattle defense, which has been pretty solid. I want to add that. And so Daniel Jones, no interceptions. This is the Daniel Jones that the Giants signed up for. 257, 2 touchdowns, 23 of 34. That's what you want from Daniel Jones. And how about Darius Slayton? 8 receptions, 122 yards, and a touchdown. No Malik Neighbors due to the concussion. No problem for the Giants. They put up points, 29-20, get a huge win there. And then earlier on Thursday Night Football, we didn't recap that one, but the Falcons, 36-30. Kirk Cousins, man, he's playing John Madden football on rookie, 509 yards and 4 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins, man, he was just unstoppable against the Buccaneers there. And so they pull out the win against the Falcons. Monday night, you got the Saints and the Chiefs. Right now playing, you got the Cowboys and the Steelers. I like the Steelers in this one. I think the Steelers can come in and perhaps get the upset here. It is the Steelers at home with the Cowboys away. I think that Justin Fields, he's got something special planned for the Cowboys today. I think that he's going to be able to make a ton of plays, not just with his arm, but I think he's going to get outside the pocket because the Cowboys are down a couple defenders with injuries and things like that. So that really leads me to believe that Justin Fields and the Steelers can win this game. I think this is going to be a 28-20 type of game coming down to the last moments of the game. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you are thinking. This is Real Talk Sports with Rico, recapping all the NFL action as we get ready to talk more about the NBA preseason coming up in our next show. I'll see you guys on the next one. Catch us on Spotify and YouTube. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.